I like to challenge my colleagues by asking them how much time are they spending looking outside of their own specialty for solutions that could potentially help their clients, their patients. Look, it's hard enough to stay up to date within our own specialty, let alone other specialties. And then, of course, everything outside of what traditional medicine. But our patients are looking for that. And they're going elsewhere for those solutions that could, in fact, be hindering your treatment strategies or perhaps even supplementing or enhancing them. But are you aware of that? And so part of the doctor's guide, as well as the masterclass fuel, I bring to you insights and of technologies, resources, and solutions that you could potentially implement in your own practice to support your patient needs, but also to give fuel to your own practice. And so join me in these interviews with these different technologies and products and resources that I bring to you as curated products that I believe will benefit you, your practice, and your patients as well. So this is part two with Andy Hnilo of Alitura. And we're going to do a deep dive in the magic, as I like to put it, of his products. And it's magical on two levels. Number one, it's absent of all these horrible toxins that typically we get in skincare products that, for the most part, people are just completely taking for granted or ignoring, and for all sorts of economical reasons. But then the other part is the essence and the vibration of the products. And I think this is a critical element that we're beginning to understand on a much deeper level. And that's also been my training, is the vibration and tension of all things that are happening. And I can't think of anyone better than Andy himself, and the authenticity and genuineness of his intention in making sure that only the best possible holistic type of products, natural type of products, are going to get on your skin. And the importance of that, again, as physicians and as consumers, we simply take for granted, is that for our skin to be healthy, we need to actually apply products on the skin, because we could internalize all these supplements, but they're not necessarily going to reach the skin at the levels that the skin needs. And so having the right kind of skincare products is absolutely critical. So Andy, thank you for part two.
Oh, well, thank you so much for having me. This is, it's very important just to explain why I went in the direction that I did. And that's just, I strongly feel like our body responds to ingredients that are as close to nature as possible. And I just, as untouched, unprocessed, untainted, it's just as wildcrafted and as close to its natural form, if possible. And so I just, early on, when I was doing my research in an effort to find a product, never with an intention to design or create my own, it was just so difficult to find something that didn't lead with water, glycerin, alcohol. It's like, I mean, right there you have your, just water-based product. Let's take up as much of that ingredient deck as we can, and then get the emulsion through something like glycerin, or to get the texture, and then alcohol to help preserve and the formula, and then just to enlighten or enhance the life of a different botanical. But I mean, you'll see certain formulas where it's just, you'll have 2 or 3 different types of alcohol in there, butylene glycol, parabens, stearates. I mean, harsh preservatives that do not serve the skin and are only counterproductive in your journey to clear skin and overall health and well-being. I mean, over time, there's a study that I heard Dr. Anthony Gustin mention on the Natural Path podcast. Women, on average, women leave the house with over 200 government recognized carcinogens. And when you, I mean, from hairspray, deodorant, lipstick, makeup, shampoo, I mean, it is just, I've always been against the strong, like lab synthetically derived ingredients, as opposed to things like coconut cream, nice botanicals, and it takes a little bit longer to create. And sure, getting the oils and things like shampoo to fully rinse out of your hair and your hair cleanser, it takes longer, and it's more difficult when you're using raw, just untainted, botanicals and ingredients in your formulas. But however, you're not creating a product that over time is just depleting others' health. I mean, can you imagine what you rub into and onto your body, hair, that close to your scalp daily, with the big brands, with the heavily fragrance formulas and preserved formulas that are just meant to stand on the shelves for years? I just completely disagree with that. I would rather eat fresh food than canned food. I'd rather have bioactive, live, superfood, cell igniting ingredients in my products, in my food, rather than something that's just been zapped. It's been, no nutrients. It's just a great smelling, easily smooth product. If you have to shake my product because sure, oil and water may separate, that's fine. But it's just, you can, be confident that there's nothing that doesn't serve you, your cells, your skin, your overall health inside of it. And so that right there is the fun part, because I just, that's non-negotiable. That's just how we do things. With Alitura, it's so rare. People can't figure it out. I've had a lot of competitors. Well, one time at a conference, a competitor came up and said, "Well, it's a water-based product. How are you preserving it?" I'm like, "Well, we're using Marone glass, their whole bottle." And this is in front of customers, by the way, really tacky that he did this. But I'm like, "Well, we're using Marone glass, and I'm, just really strong. Sure, we have a little bit less of a shelf life, but that right there, I mean, this has beeswax inside of it that was on a comb 2 months ago. Our formulas aren't cooked. They're not. It takes, sure, our shelf life's a little bit long or a little bit shorter, but it was also handcrafted. This is a full on, it's an item that is, it's a work of art, in my opinion. And I mean, it's just all of our different manufacturers. Yeah.
So the way that I look at it, Andy, is simply this, and I have to say that over the years I've been guilty with this blindness, if you will, until recently, until getting into the biohacking world and regenerative medicine and understanding root cause and everything else. Because when you put it in context, and these are numbers that are really quite shocking, and we've just chosen to ignore them completely. And there's 1.3 million registered industrial, chemicals, and what that means is that our environment is toxic. It's a toxic soup of chemicals. You take any regular romaine lettuce, and it's got 50 different types of pesticides, 3 of which we know are carcinogenic. And so unless we start changing, our habits and the types of products that we either consume or apply on our skin or live around, we're going to continue having chronic disease. Why is chronic disease, at such extreme levels today? It's because we've ignored the effect of all this toxic soup that's around us, or we put, on our skin. And to think that the average woman, when she leaves the house with 200 different, chemicals and carcinogens on the skin, I mean, that's scary. And so, I want to say thank you, first of all, for taking on that responsibility to assure that, we've got a choice that's healthy. It's not driven by economics. I mean, obviously, in any kind of company, we want to have a decent revenue, but you're doing it first and foremost for the consumer, for the right reasons. And so
Absolutely.
let's go into some of the specific ingredients, some of the specific products, because I want people to hear, both consumer and doctors, that there's an opportunity not only to get the right kinds of products at the affordable prices compared to some other companies out there that are have a lot of brand recognition. But my hope is that a lot of doctors will start implementing this kind of product because it's affordable and it's supernatural.
Absolutely. In my opinion, better results. I mean,
I
man,
agree.
if this wasn't my company, I would say the exact same thing. I are I look forward to doing my Alitura signature facial almost every day. I recommend 1 to 3 times a week. I got to tell you, Bart, I do it 5 or 6 times a week, and sometimes 7. I mean, I did it every single day, back to back to back on that conference. I can't wait. It does something at a cellular level to my mood. It unlocking right around. I just wish, I can't wait to find out at a cosmic level what it does in unlocking that congestion around the eye, the T zone, that third eye area. There's something spiritual about it as well. So I could get carried away on that, but I really do. I mean it though. And just it could be the spirit behind what went into it. It could be like, I don't know, but I'm okay with that as well. But just as far as when it comes down to the ingredients, that's the fun part for me. And also being just really being, I think I have a very good ability just knowing what works for my skin and what doesn't. And I know my skin so well, to a point, I mean, down to blackheads, down to ingrown hairs and plucking those and figuring out little infections. I've just always been into finding out the science, but what of a breakout, but I'm not a doctor. I'm not an esthetician or dermatologist, but I feel like I have like a little weird knack for skin and feeling and seeing what works and what doesn't work, in emulsion and ingredients. I've stumbled upon websites and then I go down rabbit holes and find about, and I love travel about certain ingredients, and I love traveling to find out about certain remedies all around the world, Belize, Mexico, Prague, you name it. What was the most recent one that I went to, that in Colombia? I mean, just a lot of the medicinal properties of beautiful plants located in so many luscious jungles and areas all around this world. That's my thing. I love one of my things. It's a total big time creative outlet for me. And then hearing those remedies, experimenting with them, potentially in hopes of one day down the road, maybe working with somebody that I met over there in Belize, extracting that plant that nobody's heard of out here yet. In this case, cahoon. It's like a little mini coconut. I want to, can you imagine? Like maybe getting that mini cup. First off, it looks so cute. You can crack it open, scoop that out, maybe extracting that, getting the MCT oils, the medium chain triglyceride out of that. Who knows, maybe it's a little bit more potent than the big coconuts out here. I just love finding out the intricacies of ingredients and the potential potency of the different superfoods and botanicals and different plants that are out there. Ingredients are my thing. I've pulled over, oh man, St. George, Sedona, just to get the little red rock. And I mean, I love just to get Sedona red rock on the side of my ingredient deck. But so long story made short, and I know I went off a little bit right there, but I love I love the creative part of this, but also tying it into how effective it is, and then finding out the nutrient density of finding out that the iron and that makes the clays red on Sedona red rock, and then seeing if it's beneficial to maybe pulling out certain impurities or enhancing health in some capacity. That was a big reason why I went with bentonite, and I like clay and clays in the first place, because of the mineral replenishing the minerals that we lose as humans as we age. And so that makes sense too, as well as So as from a healing level of removing the environmental impurities and toxins that we're just in pollution that we absorb daily that are out there, like you mentioned, as you mentioned earlier. So we can do all of that it's beautiful. And just educating things from skincare to household products to all personal care products. I mean, I just don't understand why the big names and big brands and say perfume fragrance industry, which is largely water and alcohol. Why not make your alcohol organic? It may at the volume there these big brands have, it's pennies. And so just removing some of the, I mean, fragrance is the worst. And, people, sure, it smells great. And it's one of the most attractive things for a human to interact with each other, the smell, the scent, you're going to remember people. However, you can get the most beautiful aroma naturally and organically through botanicals and essential oils as well. I mean, you wouldn't believe what you can get from things like babasu and sandalwood and bergamot and, oh man, frankincense, lemongrass.
So what I hear you saying is, and sort of what we talked about, before as well, is that we've developed with a healthy relationship with nature, and all different levels, and that means that our bodies are requiring all these different types of minerals to function correctly. We all know that. That's why check in our labs for our micronutrients, if you will. And but now with technology, I mean, our skin is laden with toxins, and as a result, it's all causing aging. And so in essence, what you're doing is you're replenishing the lost minerals because of the aging process, the rapid aging process that we subject ourselves to on the one hand, and then on the other hand, remove the different types of toxins and using only natural products with natural vibrations. And this is a concept that I think eludes most of us. But the truth is that we are energy beings, and we live in harmony with that energy. And when that's disrupted in the kind of world that we live in, particularly with all the stress that we have, then we have to find a way to get ourselves to resonate with those vibrations again. And there's so many different technologies out there. There's like the biocharger, but one of the easiest and most accessible ones is, of course, the vibrations that you then get to apply on your skin. So am I understanding that correctly?
Absolutely. Have you ever heard of the HRV? Man, it's like it's some type of, it's a way to measure your
You mean your heart rate?
Heart rate variability.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just a friend of mine, when he was playing for the Seattle Mariners during spring training, he would measure while doing the mask, and at a cellular level, something was occurring while he was wearing that clay mask and hanging upside down on an inversion table and letting that blood flow from head to toe and getting that good circulation going. He would do daily before, just for more of like also as a form of meditation to center himself before beginning his day and competing for a roster spot for the Mariners. And so that at a cellular level, which I really feel is the most important part of it, getting that circulation going and knowing where especially make eye contact. It's the first thing you see. Your own business or your own best business card in your handshake. You look good, you feel good. You're going to be more. You're going to create that energy that I wish I could quantify. When it's only a matter of time, right? That things.
Well, and you will, because again, it's something I deal with all the time. And people come to me and they says, well, can you do this facelift, or can you inject this, and can you inject that? And I'm contrary to most of my colleagues, and I'll tell my clients, says, look, let's work on your skin first, because we work on your skin. I mean, there's 50 different elements, as I tell my clients, that you don't understand, that's causing you to feel old as you look at yourself in the mirror. Well, let's address all of those. And what's the simplest way And what has the most long-term benefit, as long as you keep it up, is applying the right kind of skincare products. And Andy, when you talk to your potential clients, right, who want to use your products, what's that step process that you take them through? I mean, what are the kind of different steps? And perhaps share with us a couple of elements of our components of or ingredients, I should say, of any of those products that make a difference.
So the first part, I believe, in rejuvenating the epidermis is just circulation, getting the stagnant capillaries circulated. I feel like that leads to kind of sagging, dull skin. If you don't do that, number one, it can potentially lead to dark circles under the under eye area. If you're not getting the micro circulation on the capillaries on the outside of, a lot of people develop smile lines, crow's feet, fine lines around the outer eye area, and as well as the T-zone right here where people develop frown lines. Now clays I just have had with my first clay mask I made, 20 years old, bentonite, calcium bentonite clay loaded in silica, which is a building block in collagen. It brings a lot of microcirculation to the surface of the skin. And then I follow that up with the vendor where I got the calcium bentonite clay also had raw sul clay. I did a little research on that as well. Loaded in minerals that bring a lot of, that's probably my heaviest circulatory ingredient that it just brings a lot of that. In addition to the capillary size being just equally as soft, it just molds together well with the kaolin and the eyelite clay that I get from France as well. So we have the 4 clays that provide this mineral rich meal as well as a level of circulation to the surface of the skin. And then once it dries, it just it creates this and then once you rinse it off, it's a micro exfoliation as well as reintroducing the minerals that we lose as we age. And then on top of that, we have first 4-hour milking grass-fed colostrum, which has IGF-1 growth factors, is rich in enzymes that heal the skin during that exfoliation process, as well as organic kelp powder, which is loaded in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin K, B12, sodium alginate, which is a potent topical cleanser as well. Ben Greenfield was explaining the blue-green stem cell aspect of algae and also in the kelp powder. And that's something I really need to find out more, because that's another ingredient or way to explain just the cellular activity. During the cell turnover process, you want to make sure that you just create the healthiest cell. And in doing that, obviously a lot of that comes from what you consume, what supplements you're taking, how you're building your blood internally. However, and then rounding it out with L-ascorbic acid, which is a high potency form of vitamin C, which crosses the epidermis and just really brightens the skin. We have freshwater pearl powder that is just it creates this really, really even skin tone. It's a soft. It's a micro exfoliant that you can just put in your hand, add a little bit of water, and then rinse it off, and then just feel your hand right after that and how soft and smooth it is. I mean, that was a character. It was an ingredient that just I was taking internally to help clean my liver and kidney, just because after meeting with one of the Chinese herbalists. And so I broke open one of the capsules. And I was like, why not just put this in my clay mask? And I did the same thing with colostrum as well, because it was so good internally. Your skin being your largest organ, you want to treat it like another mouth. I feel like if it's that good internally and it has that, appeal to it, pearl powder, it was a Hail Mary. I had never seen it used in a skincare product before. That and definitely colostrum as well. But I feel like if it's that rich and that nutrient dense, it's got to do something topically as well. But then usually it just comes down to the particle size. But it was very soft, and I would spot treat certain areas and see how the ingredients worked with each other and blended with each other at a synergy level, a synergistic level. And so just, creating that circulation to the surface of the skin, removing those impurities, softly exfoliating that area, and then healing and then hydrating that area with our moisturizer or gold serum. I believe if you stay consistent with the routine of cleansing your face, exfoliating once or twice a week, and then healing and hydrating that area and protecting it from environmental pollution and just the damage, just
Right.
the sun damage, and then preserving the results at the most important time to do so, while you're in one position for hours when you're sleeping with the night cream. I just feel like over time you're just going to maintain, because the ingredients are as pure as it's a lot of our products are food grade. I mean, in fact, when I was, when was that? 2017, our body lotion, I would put my hand and I'd look at it and go, look, I mean, how many products can you eat? I
Right.
mean, and it wasn't even that, it didn't even taste that bad. We had a little lemongrass, a little vanilla, beeswax, olive oil. I mean, it's not that the ylang, the flower botanicals were a little earthy, but nonetheless, that's the whole idea, is just explaining that you really need to be extremely aware of the ingredients that you're rubbing into and onto your body daily. And because you're going to, it's going to show up in your bloodstream. You're going to potentially, depending on what it is, deodorant, hairspray, it could disrupt your endocrine system at a hormonal level. And it's just, over time that accelerates aging and can reduce your longevity, right?
And I'm thinking as you're talking, I mean, the secret ingredients that you have, or the secret sauce, as some people like to put it, right, are essentially three things. Number one, it's the natural products, and the key point about that one, and how you compare, with other products out there. Number two, it's the results in beauty. I mean, the beauty results. I mean, that is key. And then the final one, which perhaps might be the main driver ultimately, is it's really affordable. And I find that, been in the beauty industry for practically my entire life. It's the cost benefit ratio is clearly there as well. And so people can afford a right kind of product versus, affording a product that actually doesn't serve them well, or is paying an exorbitant amount of money for a product that is a lot better than the average perhaps, but still has a lot of these different types of toxins. So your secret ingredients are that, and all centered around your passion in doing it the right way. But I have a question for you. How is it that you can make it so affordable?
It's I went into this. I didn't even know my cost of goods when I first met with Dave Asprey, when he came down to LA, and we were crunching numbers on a napkin. Seriously, that's how it started. And so I quickly found out my cost of goods and how expensive my product was to make, with things like pro powder, colostrum, vitamin C, kelp powder, American ginseng. They're pricey, especially with 10% pro powder. And I just, and so with that, you come up with a price where you want to make it affordable for everyone, seriously. And I just didn't, you see the big names, and I would feel bad charging certain, the human aspect really came into this. And I started off with, I think it was 35 for the clay mask, and I was 35 free shipping. Right. And it was just, I put it in a little plastic container, ship it off to Sweden, $23 to ship it. It was probably 14 ounces of product in there, twice as much as what we're putting in now. I was losing money on the initial sale. And so you just kind of, you tinker around with it, and then you make sure, but you want to make it affordable for everyone. I mean, and I our products can probably be a lot more expensive and people probably still buy them, but I just, it doesn't feel, it's not me. It's not me.
No, I respect you for that, because I was challenged with the same, problem in my practice as a plastic surgeon. And, I was supposedly working with one of the top, companies at that time. But a single product was like $500. And it's sort of like, a lot of the patients just couldn't afford that. I mean, sure, there's a bunch that could, but the majority couldn't. And so what I like about your product line, I mean, I'm looking on your website right now, and you've got a whole bundle for just $275. And it's sort of like, whoa, I mean, this is amazing. You get a full complement of products. Yes, sure, you can add some more to that, I'm sure. But most people will be able to afford that. And if their skin is important enough to them, and they recognize that this is a natural product, This is an easy sell for anyone to complement not only the health of their skin, but actually the health of your body.
Absolutely. It's and also the health of your mind. You
Mhm.
know, you I know what I'm getting every single time with that treatment, and I know how I'm feeling every time I leave my house after it,
Right.
you know? And so you're going to create this ripple effect. It's something I look forward to daily. It's just you know what you're getting every single time, and it just who you meet personally, professionally. It's a part of a routine that I think came back from probably athletics. Just what I did to prepare for a game, what I do to prepare for this podcast with you, and just what you do every single day. I mean, just why not do it every day?
Yep.
Why not do it every day and stay consistent with that routine and just over time, it just you're gonna age gracefully. I'm not the whole anti-aging space. I get it, but how about you do your research on the ingredients and provide a consistent routine and a regimen that you can do over time that's going to naturally give you the best results. I swear, I just know that it has for me. I mean, I feel better than I did when I was 22, and just but at it, naturally, not using these big $500 with a speck of
Right.
an active ingredient and then fill it up with glycerin and alcohol and preservative and a
Right.
fragrance that's going to make it smell good. And let's
Right.
put a 475 in the makes, but it's 30 days. I don't, that's the thing. They measure it out. So you got to reorder. And like, I just want to be fair. I want to be,
And you will with help by people like myself to really get the message out there and really make a difference. And I'm gonna invite you to rephrase the age gracefully, because people could just tolerate a lot, and it's what you accept. Tolerate what you accept versus accept what you tolerate. And so I'm going to say age with vitality.
age with vitality. I love that.
Because here's the truth, and when your face is vital, right? And there's a concept called mirror neurons, and I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but mirror neurons, and so we are responding to other people's energies. And so when you come across somebody that looks really good, their face and the skin looks really good, the person who's seeing that responds to that, and then you're going to respond to them, right? And so
Right.
if you look old and haggard, the people that you get connect with, they're going to recognize, oh, here's an old and haggard person, and they're going to convey that energy across. And so that's going to affect you. So you're spot on when you say, I get to feel good, not only because of what it does to me, but it's also how I feel when I see myself. And it's also how I then connect with other people. So it's a win all the way around. It's quite a no-brainer. I mean, it's all natural products, absence of toxins. And now I'm selling for you, right? Absence of toxins, and it's affordable. And for me, my emotional currency is really giving people the tools for their own personal success. And so whether it's in a medical practice, or whether it's just a consumer who just wants to use these products and they have a better looking skin and they have better relationships and better business relationships, I mean, it's a win all around. So I have to thank you for your incredible work, your incredible passion, but most importantly, your genuineness and your authenticity in the product that you deliver, because that is so unique and so wonderful to have today.
That means a lot that you say that, and that's why I do this. And it's just to hear that means that it's that others see it as well in me. I'm a kid in a candy store. I love what I do. I got a second chance in life, but I also found my purpose. I was 30 years old. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was waiting for the phone to ring as an actor. I was putting everything into that industry, but now I have something I can control that definitely appeals to, appeals to emotion. It can affect people a lot more than my acting on soap operas
Yeah.
would ever would. And I just love but I built this with I built this, and with the utmost intention but you nailed it. You said it better than I ever could right there. And I really, it means a lot that you took the time to know that about myself and my company and my journey throughout this. It's still so delicate and so close to my heart. I just, I have a smaller team, but I love them. And,
It's awesome.
it just, and I let our customers, I mean, I hop on the phone. It's just, we're people, we're humans.
Well,
It's
I'm here to join you on your journey. I'm here to support you. And in fact, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start using your product. I know I bought it about a month ago. I haven't touched it yet because I wanted to wait for this
yes.
conversation. And so take a picture of an image of my face right now. And when we have our future interviews, you'll see the changes.
Hey, all right. Hey, no, I already did you get a derma roller?
Yes, I did.
Oh, perfect. All right. Cleanse, derma roll, clay mask, gold serum,
I,
night
I,
cream. You let
I,
me
I
know.
I
You
got
let me
the
know how you turn out.
I got the works, and we'll be talking to each other, and I'll show off the results, and I'm all about that. So Andy, I really want to thank you, and there's links for people to get connected with you, and what's the name of your website?
It's Alitura, ALITURA.com. And I'd like to offer your following 20% discount.
Okay.
Let's just call it well, let's see, what would she call it? The discount? Dr. Bart or
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
okay.
We'll work on that part. And there's going to be links that people can follow and all that kind of stuff.
All
And then
right.
we'll
Yeah.
just totally figure it out. But Andy, I want to thank you, and I hope to be able to funnel a lot of people to you, because I'm excited about the shifts that they get to make. I'm excited about health and wellness and health optimization. And that's all that I'm doing, and also educating docs, how to get access to that as well. So Andy, thank you.
No, well, thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Dr. Rademacher's Prescription for Your Transformation. Continue the path towards discovering your own authentic genius by tuning in next time for more real conversations with real people.